Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your second half of April 2019 reading. Just to let you know, these cards have been shuffled. I did a pre-shuffle and meditation earlier before starting the video. I prefer to do those without the camera running just because I don't want to feel the need to have to talk. I really do want to be able to just meditate and focus in while I'm focusing on the cards. I do understand that some people really do enjoy seeing that process, but for me, that's something that I do in private before I get started. But I am going to shuffle a little bit while I'm talking. The main thing that I want to say to you guys, first of all, is welcome to the channel. I've not actually done a reading for Pisces yet on this channel. And so welcome, and I look forward to getting into your energy and seeing what you guys are going through right now, at least for part of you. As I mentioned, this is a general reading, and that means a couple of things. Number one, this may or may not resonate with you. And if it does not resonate with you, then I would suggest that you look to the readings that are associated with your rising, moon, or Venus signs. And I try to, in the description for the videos, put enough in the title that you can get a sense for what the overall theme is. So you can actually just go and read the headline for the video and see if that maybe jumps out for you a little bit more. That was weird. The other thing that is important for you guys to remember about a general reading is that the energies can be reversed. I just have to say this first as I'm talking about energies. I felt this way during the meditation and the pre-shuffle as well, Pisces. And as I'm starting to move into the reading and just trying to get my words out, I'm really struggling even to just get words out. I feel like it's not a nervous or an anxious energy. It's sort of like it's an awkward energy. Awkward. Like I'm just imagining like, like preteens at a school dance, and they're just sort of like aligned along the wall, and no one's talking to each other, and then finally someone makes this effort to say something, and it comes out all just awkward and weird. So I don't know if potentially, I mean, the cards are starting to come out, so we'll see, but I'm not sure if this is just, it feels like maybe there's someone in your life right now who's making you this way. Like when you are around them, you just feel like you can't say anything right. You feel awkward. You feel embarrassed and intimidated. It's just, yeah, it's a strange energy. It's, let me focus here. That's the other thing too. I cannot focus right now. It's very interesting. Are you guys like really scattered? Are you guys having a hard time with focusing or thinking? I really do feel that, at least for some of you, someone has come in and they have you guys are shook. You guys don't know what to do about this person. Let's get a few more cards for Pisces. Second half of April 2019. What's going on with Pisces? Second half of April 2019. Show me Pisces for the second half of April 2019. That one. Okay. So we're going to start with the cards that came out here. And one thing I will tell you, I'm doing something a little bit new on the videos that I'm posting now. So I know a lot of times people have questions about the cards, and I do try to remember to show you each individual card when I'm able to remember to do that. A lot of times I just get focused on the energy and I get distracted and I forget to show you guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a cutaway, and I'll continue talking, but I know a lot of people are really interested in the cards themselves and the decks, and I understand that. A lot of times I wish that I could see cards more clearly, or at least get a view of the deck. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little cutaway. I'll let you guys see the the front cover of the cards, the actual card itself, the artwork, and then you guys can see what the deck is called and what it looks like. And then I also will put links in the description for the video, just of where you can find these decks And in case you do want to pick them up to use on your own, I get absolutely no sort of like commission or anything on that. I just, I know as I have watched other readers on YouTube, it was one of the things that I really wished I could see, or that they would talk a little bit more about in terms of like what cards they were using and why they really liked the deck. And so I'm going to try to be mindful of doing that for you guys as well. So with that said, we're actually going to jump into the reading now, and then the cutaways for the other decks, they'll play over the actual reading, but it's fine. I'll do it at a point where I'm not really talking or needing to show you a card. So the first card that came out is the Eight of Swords reversed. And the Eight of Swords reversed is really about, it's really when you've gotten inside your own head and you're sort of like trapping yourself. So it's when that inner voice, that inner critic really starts to just, hammer away at you with negative thoughts, and you have, you're bumping up against these beliefs that you have that are very restricting and limiting. And it's about, the card itself is asking for you to learn how to release that inner critic, release those negative thoughts that you have about yourself, and to realize that you're in control of those things. You're in control of those negative thoughts and those negative voices. Now, I do want to mention here, this card it can be associated with Gemini and Venus, and when I was actually doing your pre-shuffle, and I was just sort of thinking, and I was just letting see if anything was going to come out in terms of like, I kept saying like the reading was for Gemini. So it's possible that some of you might be dealing with a Gemini or have specific questions for a Gemini. And I feel like because I was almost saying Gemini and this card's the first card out, if that is the case, I would say definitely stick around. It doesn't mean that if you're not dealing with a Gemini, you should like find another reading, or not, there's nothing in this one for you. But with that popping out to me, I just wanted to mention that in case some of you really are hoping to hear something about a Gemini. I think that will absolutely be coming out for you guys. The next card that came out is the Six of Pentacles. I'm just going to show you really quickly that card. And so this is the second card out. I think I have everything so it'll focus. There might be a little bit of a glare, but so Six of Pentacles, again, this is upright. And this card is really about generosity and giving. This is the card of sharing the wealth. This is the place where you have, moved out of the place where you feel a lack, and you feel that you have enough now that you can share. It's interesting because these two cards don't really make a lot of sense with each other. And I will say with this card, a lot of times this card can actually mean, it can have ties to finances, money, actual money. What I'm actually getting from this, though, is that because this is a love reading, and also because of this other card that's come out, I don't feel that this represents actual giving of money or volunteering time. I feel like this is really about you realizing that you have an abundance of love that you can give, and that you have a lot to share. You have a lot to give to a potential romantic partner. The card that came out as the third card out, you got the Chariot, and it's upright. Let me get that to focus. So this card is really about action. It's about success, and it can also point to someone who's very determined, someone who is they're certain of what they are moving towards, and it's absolutely a sign of action. I feel like with these first few cards out, what's really going on here is that it seems like you've really been in your head. You've been in your head, you've been doubting yourself, you've really been letting that inner critic, mess around with you and make you question your own worth and your ability to have something that feels and feels like the type of relationship, the type of loving relationship that you want. But I think that you are actually really pushing yourself and trying to make efforts and being very dedicated to getting out of this. And this is what I think you want to move to, or the realization that you've had recently that you're trying to accept. That's a better way of phrasing that. It's not necessarily that you can't accept this about yourself. It's more that you've just realized this. This is very fresh. This is something that so what I'm getting on this card is that someone made you realize this about yourself. Wow, there's just... It's not a sadness. It's... You know, there's a song, Bittersweet Symphony. I'm hearing that song in my head. That energy is very bittersweet. It's that thing when you realize that your doubts, your own self-doubt got in the way of something that could have been really great. And you're realizing that this person really did love you. This person really did find you captivating and mesmerizing, and you doubted that because that's not how you looked at yourself. That's not how you felt about yourself. It's not how you would have spoken about yourself. And so this person responding to you in that way, it created a lot of doubt. And instead of realizing that the doubt that was being created was internal to you, you doubted that person. You felt that that person was not being honest, or that person was up to something. And I think that you've realized this recently. I think that you have come to an awareness that you did this. And you're really working hard, and you're really trying to get out of this energy and get more into this Six of Pentacles energy, into that space. So I would say at this point, if that did not resonate with you, go ahead and click off of this video. There's probably not going to be a specific message in this that's going to resonate with you, because the focus of the rest of the reading will be on that type of situation. Again, please do go to your rising, moon, and Venus sign readings and check out those headlines and see if they sound more in line with what is going on with you personally. Sometimes that will happen with readings, that your sun sign is just not the one that energetically you're the most connected to at this point. So I want to take a look. I'm curious about this person that came into your life that led to this this need inside of you to really evaluate how you label yourself and talk about yourself, and the beliefs that you have about yourself that this person did not agree with you about. And I feel like it was your negative stuff. They saw that you weren't really like that. But I want to see what we can get about that person just in general. Clarify this person for Pisces, second half of April 2019. Person for Pisces, second half of April 2019. Okay. So first card out is the Knight of Swords, and it is reversed. And the second card out, we have the Five of Swords upright. Some weighty energy. I will say again, this Knight of Swords, this can be a Taurus or Gemini energy. We have Gemini energy coming out again. So I do, for at least for some of you, absolutely, the person that you were interacting with was a Gemini. but it doesn't have to be necessarily that sign. So let's talk about this person when I asked for cards to clarify, and we'll probably get some additional cards because um, so first card out again, Knight of Swords reversed. This is the type of person, and even though it's a knight, it could be a male or female, but it's more of a masculine energy. It could be someone who is slightly younger than you are, not a significant age gap, and it doesn't have to be that they're younger. They could just feel younger than you. It could be a maturity thing or even an emotional maturity thing, but just keep that in mind. It's sort of a younger vibe that is a little bit more masculine energy. But this person is someone who is very impulsive and they're unfocused. And I feel like this is what I was picking up on during the pre-read and the meditation, and even at the beginning of this video, just saying like I could not manage to focus. I could not manage to like, get myself to not feel awkward. And this is what I think that is. This card is sort of a restless energy, and maybe that's a better way of describing that energy instead of awkwardness. Just this feeling of not being able to just sit and exist and be. This coming out with the Five of Swords upright. The Five of Swords, it's just really intense conflict and disagreements. This is the card where it's do or die. It's that win at any cost sort of energy. Now, I'm going to have to get some more cards on this because I do feel like this is actually describing that other person, but I just can't see how that energy would ever lead you to being willing to sort of trust in this person and believe what they were saying about you. So maybe I can understand why you really did listen, or you tried to listen maybe internally to your intuition. But I think what happened is instead of tuning in, this is what happened. I got a yes on this. Pisces, so I actually might not need any other cards. I just got clarification on this. This person, is someone who is a little bit immature. They are a very, very restless and scattered type of energy. They're very impulsive. It makes them appear to be someone who is not dependable or someone who maybe isn't trustworthy. I think that they're how they are in terms of when they believe in something, when they believe in a truth, they are aggressive in defending that and also in trying to convince others to believe the same way they do. They're not someone who has negotiating skills or someone who knows how to sort of navigate conflict in interpersonal relationships. Now, again, I just want to say here, this could be the other person. So if you are a Pisces or if you're a cross watcher who is watching this video trying to find out what's going on with a Pisces, whoever's listening to this, this could be the other person, okay? But this could also be how the other person experienced and viewed you. So just keep that in mind as I'm walking through this, because you will have to determine whether this is you or this is the other person. Okay, I just want to say that here. The energy of this person, though, is someone, they haven't quite figured out that, that saying like you can catch more flies with honey. It's like they haven't gotten that. They don't understand that. And so they're very aggressive and they're very, they're a lot to deal with. Let's just put it that way. They're a lot. But in a way, I think you liked that about them. I think that you liked that, they, in a way, even though they are sort of like unfocused, like they're also so restless and so energetic and just ready, willing, and able to go try something new or go do something new. So that part really drew you to them. But then because they feel so like unreliable, you doubted what it was they were saying that they felt about you, or how they viewed you, or what they thought about you. And you tried, Pisces, to do what all water signs are so good at doing, is just to turn inward and reflect and connect to your intuition and try to get guidance and try to get clarity. But what actually happened for you is that you, instead of tapping into your intuition, you tapped into your inner critic. And that's where things have gone a little bit awry here. And I think that in a way you have this realization already, because again, I do see you really working to transition out of that inner critic into this, you know what, maybe I am someone who has a lot to give. Maybe I am someone who has a lot to offer. Maybe I would be an amazing partner. Maybe I am someone who's attractive. Like, you're starting to question this critic, which is good. That's what this person was supposed to do. They were supposed to serve as a catalyst for you to sort of have this connection go in a wrong direction. Having that happen was actually the right thing to happen, because it's what was needed for you to shift out of this thinking and start to think about yourself a little bit differently. I'm going to switch decks here just because let's take a look at the Chariot for a second, just because I'm getting 2 shuffles here. So typically, if I move to shuffle the deck, then what I do is, after the shuffling is done, I will take the card that's on the bottom and the top. That's what we will do here. So off the bottom of the deck, oh my goodness, we have the 7 of Swords, and that is reversed. And then off the top of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups, and it is in reverse as well. Okay. Well, I mean, I can tell you this in clarifying the Chariot. Here's what I think is sort of going on. So we have the 7 of Swords, and that's in reverse. And what I normally associate with this card in reverse is the notion of what's it called? Imposter syndrome. Of people are going to see that I'm a fraud, that I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to put out this one thing, but people are going to see through it. It's that fear of being found out. And it's also, again, it's a card about self-deceit and sort of lying to yourself. The Ace of Cups in reverse. This card is really about learning how to love yourself. It can also deal with emotions that you have that you're trying to keep at bay, that you're trying to sort of file them away and ignore that they're there. But it's about dealing with those and learning to really love yourself. I feel like that is absolutely what's happening here for you. This is what the Chariot is showing, is that you're really focused right now on releasing the self-critic and the things that come along with that, and learning how to really love and care for yourself, and to accept yourself for who you know you are. That's what I'm getting here. So I'm gonna pull a few, at least one, hopefully a couple of cards out of this deck. I don't use this deck as a traditional tarot deck. I use this deck as more of oracle or advice cards, just because they are associated with the major and minor arcana, but the cards actually have specific names and they have specific themes, and so I just want to let you guys know that. So I just want to see, Pisces, honestly, I feel like the reading is pretty clear. It's just more about giving you, I think, maybe confirmation. I think that was what was really the energy here, is acknowledgement that yes, this person was someone special. I don't at this point feel that the energy is even clear enough around this person to know whether it's something that's karmic, where they just came in for this purpose and they are actually moving on and out of your life at this point, or whether there's a deeper connection there. I think that a lot of that at this point in time, in terms of what happens, is it depends on you, whether you are actually able to navigate this journey that you're on. You know, if you are unable to confront that self-critic and you're unable to allow yourself to heal and to believe better about yourself, then I think that this person leaving you, losing this person, is the thing that will ultimately push you to complete that journey that you need to complete. But I feel like if you can actually transition this, and if you can learn to step into who you truly are, and if you can learn to see yourself the way that this person did, then, you know, I think that there's possibility. It's a question of whether this is the type of person that you would actually be drawn to once you are standing in the truth of who you are. See, that's the thing that's a little bit tricky, because once you step into that, once you start to acknowledge your worth and you start to acknowledge your own power, what can happen is that at that point, who you are as a person is no longer drawn to the person that you once were. And that's where everything gets tricky, because if you grow and they don't, it might not still be aligned. If both of you grow, maybe it is. Maybe you grow and you're still really drawn to their energy. That's an unknown at this point. So you have to complete this growth, this own personal growth, and the work on yourself. So let's see what we have here. Okay. So, not shocking at all, but the first card out is the transformation card. Just gonna see if... So the transformation card in this deck, it's equal to the death card in a typical tarot deck. And so, you know, with that, it's the death card. A lot of people get freaked out when they see that, but it's not a bad card to get. This is really just, it's confirming what we're seeing here. It's the end of a cycle. It's transformation. It's change and personal growth. This is about a transition occurring. And so that's absolutely, it's just confirmation that this is where you're at, it's where you're supposed to be. This is good. What you are focused on and working on is for your benefit. So keep going on that. And then the last card for you, Pisces, is the adventure card. Let's just focus on that for a minute. I love this card. And the reason that I love it is because this card is really about rediscovering that childlike energy of just being receptive, and realizing that there's lots of stuff that you don't know. There's lots of stuff that you don't know about the world, about other people, about yourself. And to be able to approach those unknown things as not being scary, but rather seeing those unknown things as being an adventure, being something that you're excited about exploring, knowing that, you know, by going on this adventure, you're going to have, you know, this amazing experience, and ultimately at the end of that adventure, there's a reward that's waiting for you at the end of that. And for this particular adventure, the reward is that you get to heal. You get to heal, you get to learn to love yourself, you get to realize the worth that you have and how powerful you are as a person. And that will just change not only how you view yourself, but also how others view you. And it will begin to attract people into your life that will treat you better and have more respect for you and will love you as much as you love yourself. So Pisces, I would say over the next 2 weeks, my advice to you is just to really give yourself time and space to let go of all the negative thoughts that you have about yourself. Pamper yourself, do nice things for yourself, really focus on self-care and healing and taking care of yourself. And don't worry about this person and whether they're going to come back or not. Focus on you at this point and really work on providing for yourself all of the things that you feel you've not been able to find in others. Sorry about that, Pisces. The camera cut off. I'm not sure where it actually cut off, so I'm just going to sort of jump into maybe a summary, and I can I can splice things and do some editing so that this isn't as jarring for you. But I was really about to wrap up and say to you that um, all of those things that you felt or feel that you've been unable to find in other people, you have to get to the point of realizing that you can provide all of those things for yourself, that you are absolutely 100% in possession of everything that you need and everything that you want, and that you don't have to look outwardly. You don't have to seek those from other people. Focus on those sorts of things over the next 2 weeks. And I look so forward to seeing you guys when you're back to have the first half of May, because I hope to see that you have made progress on these things, that you have worked on them, that you've figured out a way um, to love yourself and to realize how awesome you are. I really hope to see that reflected in the next reading. I would love to see that for you guys. So, Pisces, if you enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. And also take a moment to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you ring the bell by clicking the bell notification button. That will alert you every time that I post a new round of videos so that you know when those are up and you can come in and watch them. And I would love if you guys could just take a moment to do those things, because it helps to not only get the videos out to more people, but it also helps to start forming the community that I hope to form here on this channel. And I definitely look forward to being able to do readings for you guys and to see your progress and to see the, what types of people and who it is that's drawn into this channel in particular. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, whether anything in here resonated with you, or if you just have suggestions or feedback, whether that is anything that you loved, or if you just have requests for maybe something a little bit different. If there's something that you want me to do more of or to not do, I would love to hear those, because ultimately I want to create content on the channel that you guys like and you like to view and you like to watch, and that is helpful and healing for you. So again, Pisces, learn to love yourself. Let yourself love yourself. You are lovable. You are wonderful. You are amazing. And you just have to accept and trust that about yourself. I will see you guys back for the first half of May 2019 readings, and I wish you well on this journey.